Surely all of the shiny things in life and the materialistic things make us really happy and content in life, don't they? Well, more and more people are realizing that if we continue to look on the outside, we're going to be hungry on the inside because there's never enough. And over the last couple of years, I've started thinking a lot more about the lines of less is more. Yes, of course, we all need a certain amount of money to pay the basics and to do certain things and some nice luxuries. But we get so caught up, and it's not just me, it's not just you, it's most of the world nowadays. And it's great to be ambitious, it's great to strive for more. But ambition shouldn't just be about what we achieve on the outside. Shouldn't ambition also about what we achieve on the inside? The person that we are, the person that we're trying to be, the impact that we have on other people who might just need a helping hand. So while this is a Christmas episode, as you can see the Christmas tree, I think this is a kind of a topic that's relevant any date, any month in a year, because life has never been so expensive to live. Cost of living is going up and up and up. Crazy governments are taking more and more money from us with taxes and everything. So, in one hand, we've never earned so much money, but then it's never cost so much to live. However, we often oversee the things of how lucky we are. You know, if you go back to your parents or your grandparents' generation, what they had and what we've got now is completely chalk and cheese. So I get to the point of having more and more and more isn't necessarily the answer. You know, I was in two examples I want to share. Is I was in the supermarket last night getting Christmas things, and there's people in there, and they're bickering and they're complaining about this and complaining about that, and they're all desperate to get the last block of cheese or Christmas crackers or whatever else. And it got me thinking, aren't they missing what Christmas is about? You know, and then I got speaking to a couple of friends recently who were doing well financially and they're earning lots of money, but they're almost slaves to the money and the lifestyle that they've chose to build and the outside pressures that are there for all of us, but the outside noise that they're taking on. And we all take on the outside noise. We're all subconsciously competing against people that we know, people on social media, maybe just competing against ourselves. And that's okay. But at what price? At what price are we going all in on the materialistic things? So for me, less is more and doing less. You know, I had an episode that was talking about saying no to things, saying no to people, saying no to opportunities. Is I've noticed at times where life's got particularly stressful for me, one of the common things, the common denominators that was going on is that I was trying to do so many things at the same time. You know, does that resonate with anybody? Who feels that there's not enough time, there's not enough energy? Hit like if you agree with that one. Um, and then I've started to reduce more things that I do. So I've got more energy. So the areas that I'm going to concentrate on in life, I can do them better, happier, and I feel much more relaxed with it as well. You know, in talking about materialistic things and money, how many of us have got pets, dogs, cats, or even bunny rabbits that absolutely don't care about the car that we drive, or the size of house that we live in, or the hotel room that we stay in when we go to the desert island in the Maldives, or Blackpool, or wherever we go? It's unconditional love, isn't it? You know, so let me know, hit like if you agree that we can learn a lot from our pets, and let me know in the comments who's your bunny, who's your doggy, who's your cat, who's the one that gives you that unconditional love. Because all they want is time, don't they? And fun and playing, not the shiny stuff. Maybe the tasty stuff, but not the shiny stuff. This is Snowflake, my little daughter Stella's bunny rabbit. Come on, back down you go. You know, at the time of year coming up to Christmas and New Year, where many people are feeling burnt out. It's been a difficult year. They've faced challenges. They might have just survived, and survival is actually success. You know, so how do we stop being so burnt out? Everyone's got a bit of time now to relax and put their feet up, but before we know it, we're running back around the wheel. Um, we're probably paying for what we spent in December, in January on credit cards. So that pressure builds up. And it brings me back to, it was a book that I read called The Inside Out. And it talks about how we nourish ourselves internally. And a lot of this, I think, comes down to gratitude. A lot of times as people, we more focus on what we've not done, what we've not got. Um, rather than concentrating on what we have got and what we have done. And we shouldn't always have to go through these life-changing moments where maybe a loved one or ourselves, we get ill or we lose somebody to suddenly give ourselves a little bit of a head wobble and get a different perspective on life. We don't need to go through those things. We can reprogram through doing little changes every day, whether it be gratitude in the morning, being thankful for the small things, whether it be gratitude at night, being thankful for the day that you've had, the small successes that you've had, even if you don't feel you've achieved that much. So really nailing down into gratitude. And with my ADHD brain, we're always going to go all over on topic. But if I talk about Christmas, you often see people on social media who, or any time of the year, that put a message out. If anybody's feeling a bit down, get in touch. And that's really, really nice to do. Because just to think that, it means that they're aware and they've got a good heart about that. But how about if we flip it on the other side? Is yes, let people know that your door is always open. But not a lot of people will come through that door because they don't feel great. They don't want to burden somebody or they're embarrassed. How about as people, we reach out to people, particularly at Christmas time, and people that maybe have lost a loved one, split up from a relationship, maybe they're not with their kid on that day. Maybe some difficult things have happened in life, maybe mental health. Who knows what it is, but maybe they've not got that support. And whether they do have a bit of support, we can never get enough love and energy from good people. So for me, particularly at Christmas and New Year, when people can feel a little bit reflective about life, even though it's just another day with 24 hours in it, is why not think of one person or three people or five people that you can just send a little message to. Hiya, Merry Christmas, or if it's just in January or March or April, it doesn't matter. I was just thinking about you. How you doing? How's things? How you getting on? Best wishes, keep going, lots of love, however you want to do it. Because I've had messages like that from people, and it's made a big difference. 3 years ago, my dad had passed away. I was having business struggles. I was having mental health challenges, and my ex-wife had very kindly taken away my daughter out of the country to see her family, which in hindsight was really poor timing because I was sat at home alone. The movie Macaulay Culkin, Hit Like if you like that movie. And a couple of people rang me and a couple of people messaged me, and it might have only been two or three, but I remember those people. So is never underestimate the impact that you can have on other people by just being thoughtful, but then actually taking the action as well. So it was just a bit of a short video, really, to understand that sometimes if we can declutter our life and not put so much emphasis on the materialistic things, then we're not at the mercy of what's going on in our life. If we can try and have that baseline of gratitude, of positive spirit, of faith, of hope, whether it be in yourself, in God, or the bigger picture of the universe, it doesn't matter. These are the things that keep us strong. These are the things that we push on. And as I've mentioned in the past, be ambitious, try and be as successful as you can on the inside as much as the outside, because it's the inside that you have to live with 24/7. It's your mind you've got to live with 24/7. And it's no coincidence that more than 15%, 15% of all millionaires are depressed. And you might think, how can that be? I'd love to be in that situation to find out if I get depressed. And of course, we'd all love to find that situation out. But having money isn't the only thing. It's a big thing, a really big thing, but it's not the only thing. If your soul isn't wealthy, if your health isn't good, if your mental health isn't feeling strong and positive, then trust me, there's not a single amount of money in the world that can make you feel that you are wealthy. It comes from within. So that's a quick one. As always on Life with Paul M, it's real life stories of life's ups and downs. It's life lessons that I've learned along the way. It's painful experiences that I've gone through, but I've come through the other side. And I just like to try and share things with people because sometimes you can't always speak to our nearest people, our loved ones, our friends. A lot of people don't get us. A lot of people are busy. Some people don't even really care. So YouTube and audiobooks have been really helpful for me over the years. So anything you want to share in the comments, please let me know. Let me know if you agree that less is more and what your foundations and fundamentals of life are to help you feel wealthy and thankful to build from. Thank you very much. Please hit subscribe. It will make sure you get my latest videos when they come out. And it will also let YouTube know the type of amazing people that like my videos, so they can then push them out to other people as well who might just need to hear something on any given day. So I'm sending you lots of love. If you're watching this before Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you're on your own, you're never really on your own. There's always someone good out there, or even in the spirit world, like where my parents are. Never give up hope, never give up faith. Is look at all of the things that you've achieved this year, all of the small wins that are so important that we often overlook, rather than the big materialistic, shiny, huge achievements. Look at what you've achieved this year. Stay positive. You've got nothing to prove to anybody in the outside world apart from yourself and your own heart and your own soul. So sending you lots of love. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And thanks for all of your love and feedback on the channel and on Instagram since I launched. Thanks very much. Have a great day.